Hi everyone. Today we'll try to draw the Tic Tac Toe game. Okay. So we have our UEFI main function, and here once I draw the image, everything is done. So what I'm going to do? So before this while loop, right? Before we just try to calculate our mouse current position and all, I will try to draw the game here. So probably I'm going to call the function name as Tic Tac Toy, and then here I'm going to call this function draw Tic Tac Toy. Okay. So now let's create this function about our entry point. So it's a void function. Return type is void, and we are not going to accept any arguments. And then for now, what we will do, we will simply return. Okay, so I will format the document. Okay. So now what I need to do. So in the tic-tac-toe game, there will be a total 9 boxes. Correct. So we need to know what is the dimension of those boxes. Okay. So here, UNT box dimension. Okay, and then each box is going to have its own size, or all the boxes will be having an equivalent size, right? So I'm going to create another variable called box size. Okay, and each box will be having its own start x and y positions. So untn box start x, and then box start y, right? And then we need to calculate the x and y positions from the center of that each box. Okay, so this I'm going to call this as an x position, and then we will be having an y position. Okay, and we need to go through each and every columns and a row. So then I'm going to create those variables as well as row, column. Okay, so now let's try to calculate our box dimension. Okay, so what I'm going to do, so I'm going to split this entire screen into 5 parts, and then I'm going to take the middle 3 boxes. Okay, so it should be a minimum of my horizontal resolution or an vertical resolution that I'm going to divide by 5. So which means whichever is minimum, so that minimum resolution I'm going to divide by 5, and from those 5 columns I'm going to 5 columns or 5 rows, I'm going to pick the minimum one. Okay, so now let's calculate the box size. Okay, so box size is total, we need a 3 cross 3, right? So 3 into, and then what is the box dimension, whatever it is going to pick the minimum one. Okay, so now we need to calculate the center of the grid. Okay, so now what we will do, box start x will be our horizontal resolution minus what is our total box size, that we will divide by 2. So this will gives us the center in the horizontal, and then box start y will be vertical resolution minus box size divided by 2. So this will gives me and center of the grid in the vertical position. Okay, so now let's go through each and every rows and a column. Okay, so for row we are going to start with 0. So how many rows we are going to have maximum? It's a 3. Okay, and then every time we are going to increment the row. Okay, and now first we will go through the row and then we will go through the column. Okay, so this I'm going to change it to column. Okay, so now once we go through each and rows and the column, right? So we need to calculate the positions of the each column first. Okay, each x position and the y positions of the each box. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, so our x position will be what is our box start, box start x plus our column into our box dimension. Okay, so this is nothing but assume for our first column, right? When the column is equal to 0, okay, assume our x position is also suppose say x position will be suppose say the x position we need to calculate. Our box start will be assume it will be an assume 100. Okay, so then our x position will be an 100 plus 0 into, then assume our box dimension is suppose say a 50. Okay, so now this will gives me the x position as suppose say 100, and then if I further go the next column, then our x position will be remains the same. Okay, uh, sorry, box start x will remain the same, and our x position now this is going to be 1. Okay, so 1 into 50, so that will become 150, and if I go to the next, so this will become 200 for me, and here it will be 2, and here it will be 2. Okay, so now similarly we need to calculate the y position as well. Okay, so now y position will be box start of an y, and then here I'm going to calculate the row into box dimension. Okay, and it follows the similar calculations to this, but here we are calculating the column, and for this y we are going to calculate the row. Okay, so once I calculate the x and y positions, right, I can fill the box. Okay, so now let's use our blit calls. Okay, so m graphics output and then a blit. Okay, so we need to pass this argument graphics output, and then let's print the white color, and then we are going to fill the video fill, EFI BLT video fill, and then whenever we use the video fill, so our x and y will not be used, so we are going to give it as x 0 0, and then our x position, and then we will give our y position, and what is our box dimension. Okay, and then box dimension, because we are going to draw the square. Okay, and the delta remains the 0. Okay, so now I will format the document. Now let's try to build it. I will open the command prompt, EDK setup, build. Okay, meanwhile it builds, I will go to our build folder, x64, debug, x64. Okay, build is completed. I will run our WinHost, cop sample driver. Now we can see we got our full white color box where we can draw our tic tac toe rows and the columns. Okay, so now here what I'm going to do, we need to differentiate the rows and columns, right? So we need to fill the a separator between each boxes. Okay, so that we will try to understand in the next video. So that's it for today. Thank you.